What's good, guys? I'm just going to come on here for a little bit and chill with y'all, but while I get set up, here's this couple seconds. But friends don't lie, I'm told. All that shines. Hell yeah, appreciate you guys for tuning in to the Friday live stream. I have this air riser heated up here. I really have like no flour left. So I'm trying to zap this old flour in this air riser, see if I can get a session out of it. I was hitting Keef bowls yesterday, but as anybody who hits Keef bowls knows, the Keef bowls tend to go pretty quickly. It's kind of hard to, you only get like a couple hits out of it unless you just got a ton of Keef. But regardless, I still wanted to come up and come on here and chill with you guys. Hoodrich Visions, feel like that's a new name. Welcome. David, what's good? Slow DK, David, y'all are the usuals as well as Emmanuel. Welcome to the Friday morning live stream. I also need some herb, Hoodrich. I might have to try to find some today. Noah, what's good? If anybody would like to give towards that effort, I'll be putting this branding on screen. But either way, hopefully one of these days soon, like this weekend or something, I'll be able to get some tree. We'll see how that goes. Hitting some Delta 8 dabs. I got you, kids. I'm not usually a dabber in the morning. Not typically. I do have some like the THCP dabs, the Delta 8 dabs and stuff, but I'm typically not hitting too many dabs in the morning. I hope you guys can hear me over the music all right and everything. I wanted to get some flour yesterday, but I just haven't gotten to get it. I've been trying to save money. If any of you guys are looking for a way to save money on weed, I really suggest you get an Excel sheet and write down every time you buy it. That has definitely put me on blast. Every time I buy some tree, I put it in my Excel sheet and it's adding up, and I'm like, okay, so this is what my weed bill is versus some bills and stuff like that. Although it is most of my entertainment, the only other entertainment I do is like go to some like stand-up comedy every now and then, but I don't spend a lot of money on leisure and stuff. So with that being said, I don't feel that bad about it. But yeah, that's the case. So I've been tracking the spending in an Excel sheet with my other bills, and it really helps me stay on. Like I'm still like a little bit disappointed in myself how much I spend, but at the same time, it's like my medication, and it's like a mix of my medication and my fun all together. So even if it's a couple $100 a month or whatever, I don't feel as bad because it's kind of all wrapped into one entity. You know, I don't take any medication. I don't really have any other fun. Smoking weed is about as fun as my typical days get at this point in my life with my current income. So with that being said, I don't feel too bad smoking weed, you know. Hell yeah, Pittsburgh. It helps. I might make a video about like that, about like tracking the finances. And I know it's something that's boring to a lot of people. A lot of people don't want to hear about, but non-medical patients, even medical patients that end up just buying a lot because it's not taxed or whatever. But whoever is like smoking and chiefing and shit like that, it adds up kind of like, not kind of, it adds up subconsciously. You know, like you don't even realize how much the weed expense start to add up, especially if you happen to do a 20-minute morning show Monday through Friday, and you need to smoke each session, plus you probably smoke before and after. As happens to be my case, it can get very tough to keep up with consumption and everything like that. It's not easy to smoke this much with y'all, to be honest. It's pretty expensive. I was talking to another creator the other day, and he was talking about the debt he's driven by doing the smoking channel and trying out shit like that, because these weed companies don't show a lot of love. Because they're not of the culture for the most part, and they're just like corporations trying to make money. Like they're not really showing love, even how, and maybe even lawfully, they're not allowed to gift or something like that. But they're not about to show love to any consumer. So With that being said, it is an expensive endeavor to be doing like cannabis channels and stuff like that. So that's a big reason why I've been trying to focus on how much I've been spending. But either way, it's pretty important if I think for anybody who it matters to. Obviously, if you're super rich and buying an ounce at a time each week is like nothing for you or something like crazy like that, then obviously this wouldn't mean anything to you. But for most people, where weed is actually an expense, um, yeah. I got you, Joe. That's just for you then. Maybe at the age you've gotten to and stuff like that, it's just not best. It's just not best for you. You know what I'm saying? Weed isn't best for everybody, and I do get kind of anxious, but some of the anxiety comes with the focus that I need. Also, sometimes I do get anxious, and it's a lot of us are in the realm still where we're buying whatever the plug has. You know, even me in a legal state because I can't afford the dispensary, I end up buying what the dealer has, and obviously here, luckily, dealers have tons of options, and it's half the price of the dispensary and all that type of stuff. But with that being said, still, it's the same thing in terms of how much you spend and shit like that. So, um, but yeah, no, it's good. It's good weed on the street here, but in the dispensary, it's expensive and not as good. It's double the price and half as good a lot of times. So I tend to stick to the streets out here in Illinois, at least for this point. I know it's just like the first year of Illinois legalization, so everything's just starting to get settled out, but they've definitely made a precedent of cheating the people. Slow decay. The flower is getting. I don't know if I would say it's getting high quality, but it's getting high THC percentage. Those aren't the same things to me. So some of the high THC percentages I think are really freaking some people out and making people anxious because they're really like growing this shit to not have too many of the other cannabinoids, have too many of the other compounds as to get people as high as possible. So I think some of that stuff is like instilling some of this anxiety and some of this stuff. And a lot of people, I think it's an age thing. I think some people aren't meant to be smoking all the time, like all ages and stuff like that. I think some people it helps them more when they're younger. Some people find in their 30s and 40s and it helps them at that point. Some people are lifelong smokers from the age of 10. Legit, I'm not advising that or anything like that, but some people are like lifelong, like teenage, young person smokers. So with that being the case, it's tougher. Like I was just reading a book about drinkers, like some people start drinking 10, 12 years old, and that's just reality. And people are like, that's not right. What right and wrong is in America, it's just reality. And so when it comes to like saving money, when it comes to getting the quality, when it comes to not needing to be as high as possible, shit like that, I do like to talk about these factors because they all factor into it. And it's all going to go down to what's the better bottom line for these companies. And the better bottom line for these companies is to hike up THC percentages and have people constantly chasing the strongest weed. And the strongest weed is coincidentally, obviously, always going to be the most expensive weed. So if the price of the weed has to keep going up, the amount somebody needs to smoke needs to keep going up. That is what's in the best interest of these companies. So we also have to remember that their bottom line is predicated on how much weed people are buying. So they need people to buy weed. Slow DK, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I love the Bubba Fett flower that I've gotten from Rhythm. If I can find a 33 out the eighth out the door, I'd never go to a dealer for real, unless that was just like my friend. I would never go to a dealer if those prices were what I was dealing with by me. That would kill street dealers if states were smart like that would. But right now, a street dealer gets you a good California eighth for $45, or you buy a mid Illinois eighth for $80 for the most part. Even after tax, like 72, $75. But that's terrible. That's expensive. You the Papa, what's good? It's another new name. I appreciate. Maybe Friday is a good day for some new viewers. I appreciate everybody who tunes in, but it's dope seeing some new people tune into my content. I know I'm not a very big creator. I'm a pretty small creator, actually. So with that being said, It's still cool to me every time. Not that I won't be in the future, but it's still cool to me every time somebody taps into the content and shit like that, because the fact that I'm new, and it's not easy to find me. Like, YouTube certainly does not make it easy for people to find my content and stuff. So it's definitely a blessing every time one of you guys does. And I appreciate it thoroughly, for real. I have this tiny ass J sitting on this roach clip. I think it's been sitting here for a couple of days. This is how much weed I have left. I'm dead. I'll go hit this dealer up later. You watched my video from Japan? Oh shit, you the papa. That's dope. That's the first person. You're the first person I've ever met. I want to go to Japan so bad and go snowboarding over there. You're the first person I've ever met that watches from Japan. I appreciate it. You gave to your daughter. That's what's up. What's good, Mercy? How you doing? Good morning. Tommy, good morning. Appreciate you guys tuning in. It's dope coming to sit here and smoke with you guys. It's been a stressful last couple weeks for me, so these sessions are definitely some relief, some time to chill, smoke, chop it up with you guys, you know. Right? Like they got that nice ass snow out there and shit. I mean, we have probably the nicest snow here anywhere, but still it's a unique place. The mountains look different. It's just like, it looks so dope up there. They got that super light snow up in those mountains and shit. So I'm definitely trying to get over to Japan and go snowboarding one day. That would definitely be a dream of mine. If I get to, somebody would pay for it and I get to shoot content over there, even better, you know? I'm about to see how much keef I can extract out of this grinder. Oh shit, there's barely any left. Y'all are saying Fiend Activities live on YouTube. It's not even Fiend Activities. I haven't even been trying to smoke. I've just wanted to smoke for this live stream. Oh. Oh, what the fuck? All the rest of that weed, I just had a little bit of weed I got in this bowl, and it just fell off the table and just went everywhere on the floor and shit. Maybe that's a sign. A sign of what? I have no idea, but it's some sort of sign, because that's fucked up. The last bit of weed I had. Anthony, what's good? That keyboard punch you. Japanese food's number one. You the papa. I'm gonna have to pull up one day. One day, best believe I'll be over in Japan smoking some good weed. I don't know how much weed y'all got over there, but I know y'all smoke weed. Everywhere around the world smokes weed, except for maybe like North Korea or something. And I'm sure they got their own version over there too. I can't do super chats because I don't have, everything's 18 and up, and YouTube won't accept my channel, so I can't do that. But if you'd like to donate or anything like that, I do have Cash App, Venmo, and sometimes I get on the other channel, people do PayPal, but I just hate PayPal so fucking much that I never want to encourage anybody to use that stupid ass shit. But Venmo, Cash App below. But yeah, I can't do super chats because of the smoking content. Like when I got the kind of the time period I came into YouTube, was like when they really started 18 and upping shit hard, and now you got to be verified and all this other type of stuff. And to get verified, one of their people has to look at your channel, and I really want to stay out of that light as much as possible. Like, I just want them to let my channel exist. I'm not even trying to make any money from YouTube. But yeah, that's to answer your question. People tell me all the time to do super chat and shit like that, but I can't do it. Like Cannabis Legalization News, for example, they have super chat, but they got approved before so much of this like YouTube strict shit came down and shit. I got you. I need to Zelle is linked to like phone number. No, Zelle's linked to. You could Zelle me if you wanted to. I don't know. I'd accept Zelle. Absolutely. It's just linked to email. But it is pretty crazy, G-Lock. What's your favorite? What am I serious about? There's a HHCO review. I did one a couple weeks ago. There's my email, and that's the email that and that's the name under it as well. So any Zelle would definitely be appreciated, guys. I appreciate all you guys for any of the support. I shouted out the person who Cash App me last week. I got $1 on Cash App last week. It's more than nothing. But HHCO, I've done a review on it, and you're gonna get another one here soon. I did the THCP one yesterday. I'll do some HHCO again soon. But if you do want to check it out, you can check it out on CannabisLibraryUS.com if you want to find it specifically to the strain or whatever. Or you can check out just the channel and go look. It was a Binoid review a couple weeks ago, about a month ago maybe. So yeah, I did that Binoid HHCO review. Left a like on all channels. I appreciate that, Slip. That's my Zelle. That email right there is that's my Zelle. If you do that, and then that's my first and last name, you could access my Zelle. I think, was it Forbidden Fruit what I did? I'm not sure. I don't remember what I did this last time, but I'm gonna get some more HHCO review out. That Keith ball really went straight to the dome. Weed is a crazy thing, you know, like how expensive it's become because of illegality and shit like that. Like, weed should be really cheap if you really think about it. Weed should be really, really cheap. Especially cheap quality weed should be like $30 an eighth even at a dispensary one day would be unheard of for like cheap weed. Cheap weed one day would be like $10 an eighth. I promise you, $10, $12 an eighth. It has to be, because there's no reason why it should be as expensive as it is. Top shelf weed, I think, will be like 40 an eighth one day. And maybe even out the door 40 an eighth. In a lot of states, because some states it already is. Some states, when I went to Oklahoma, you could get some fire weed for like 30 out the door. You know, but it should be like very cheap if you're looking at supply and demand. Demand is high, but supply should be unlimited. You know, supply should never run out, because it can be grown everywhere indoors, to where like it should never run out. So like with that being said, like demand should never reach supply, but they'll like corrupt the market so it does and hike the price up, you know. But it can be nice, and even on the streets, like in streets in Colorado when I lived there, it was 15 an eighth, obviously no tax. And so 5 a gram, 15 an eighth. Like that's, I saw on the street, because when I lived in Colorado, it was 5 years into recreational legalization. So you saw the leveling out, like on the street in Colorado is like, in my opinion, on the street in some of these like California, Oregon, like that's what the natural price is, because that's what people are willing to pay. People aren't willing to pay in the dispensary. That's not what the natural price is, you know? You should start a growing channel. That's what's up. Oh shit! If you have bulk, just hit me up. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about just saving a little bit because I never buy by the ounce, and I'm not embarrassed to say that because I don't think most people buy by the ounce. But I do want to go to the dealer. He has like some 180 to 225 ounces, and just ask for like 4 strains at $200 or whatever at 220, and just buy it like that, and then just try to save it for a month. The only thing that's worrisome is that you buy an ounce and you smoke the ounce in a week because you have an ounce. So for me, I would have to make sure that I'm spacing out. Like I only max out a quarter a week. You know, it would just take that discipline for me, but it would definitely be cheaper that way because then the quarter comes down to like $50, and you can get out here some like fire quarters $50 if you buy it at the ounce level. So Cali weed's for sure better than Colorado, but Colorado still has high quality weed subjectively. Because when you're talking about California has the best weed on earth, you know. And so when it's like the best weed on earth, it's like, yeah, so that means Colorado has like top 5 weed on earth, especially when it comes to how much you can find and the different options and all that type of shit, you know. So all that type of shit. Like, so yeah, I agree that it's not as good as Cali, but Cali is like at the top of weed options and weed kind of culture that. Yeah, it's a lot with their sun. Those hills like perfect for it. Up in Oregon, it's like perfect for it to where like the days are longer. They get more sunlight. It's perfect over there. Colorado is better than other states in terms of weed at this point. It won't be in the future, but at this point, Colorado is one of the best weed states in America, no doubt. No doubt. Unless you want like some real like OGs. Most of their shit's like a hybrid sativa mixtures and stuff like that. But if you just need to relax, you know what I'm saying, just chill, then some of those, it was harder to find like solid indica strains all over there. Even like the cookies there was a little bit weird and shit. But I'm dead, Chase. Because you do does not mean that the market is better in Minnesota. I love I love Colorado though. That's probably my favorite state in America for real at this point. Doesn't even mean that's where I want to live the most, but where I feel like the best and shit like that, up in like the Rockies and stuff like that, getting high, going running up in the Rocky Mountains and stuff. There's nothing better than that shit. That's a bit. G-Lock, enjoy your Friday. It turns into the weekend. But I got you, Prestia. Yes. Yeah, I don't do the wax. I'm not a huge fan of the wax. Like, I do the wax to test on the channel and stuff like that, but in my personal time, I'm honestly very rarely hitting wax. And I have all the shit. I got the dab X and puff cone and all that stuff. But like that's how, if I do hit the wax, I want it to be the best quality, you know. But at the same time, like flower is definitely where I'm at and what I want. And I'm sure wax is pretty cheap, but a lot of places is cheap and it's getting cheaper. I just unfortunately live in probably the place with the most expensive weed in America right now. Most expensive legal weed in America. And I chose to move here, so that's on me. But regardless, it's the case. I didn't know the market out here was like so corrupt before I moved out here. Not as corrupt as it is. But when you study Illinois history and you study like the history in Chicago and stuff like that, it's a very corrupt place just in general. So it makes sense. Don't get me wrong, but I've learned a lot about the weed market and what it seems like America, once the weed market is here, like the big businesses and pharma and shit. But for the people, it's terrible, you know. For the consumers, it's an awful market. But at the same time, it's a legal market. It's a market that allows people to exist. It's a market that, and without going to jail at least and shit, maybe not in the business sector. Like you can't really exist in the weed business or make any money in it, but you can at least, I guess, not go to jail. That's a step in the right direction for sure. 15 people on the live stream right now. It's always dope just hanging out with everybody, seeing y'all tune in. Some people are on the Grant Patterson channel today, I see. Thank you guys for that. Some people on the Cannabis Library, some people on that. Feel free to swap and sub on each other one if you want to. You can't get one though. It's like, yeah, like they're trying to make it to where you can get like dispensary license. You can't really get licenses here though. All the license here are like illegitimate. Like there's only a couple licenses that actually matter for something. Like there's no. So to answer your question, you can't really. You can't. I got you, Kylie. That's what's up. But yeah, like if you want to get in the weed business in Illinois, you really cannot. They're fighting right now to try to get it open as they give these companies a 2-year head start on everybody else. Yeah, no, like Illinois is what America wants to be, a business, one big business that doesn't allow certain people to ever help or do anything, keep certain people away from other people as much as possible, and allow them to go crazy and kill themselves and shit, and just allow other people to exist and be peaceful. I was telling somebody that Illinois is like America. Like Illinois is like the heart and soul of American capitalism. For sure, dealers are outside selling here because they like. That's the thing. Like if you're black here, you can't exist in the legal market. It's like it can't be done at this point. So like if you see a black person in the weed industry here, either they're a deal like a dispensary clerk and they're going to quit soon because it's a horrible job and you don't get paid anything, or they're going to be in the illegal market, unfortunately, black and brown people. So it's like it's not somewhere that's conducive to us existing, but also just like definitely not existing in the weed market. I don't know about that, Noah. If you've ever been to New Orleans, if you ever go down to New Orleans, you look around, it's like, oh no, there's some corruption happening in this motherfucker. I don't know about the most corrupt, but it's up there because you go to some cities and it's like, oh my goodness, like y'all literally. I used to live out in Lubbock, and obviously that's a smaller city, but it's still 400,000 people, and there's some corruption happening in that. Like anywhere where there's a group of people, and that group of people is outside, literally physically outside of the community for everybody else, that you're in a corrupt place. You know what I'm saying? They've strategically placed your people where you are, and that's just a fact. And so if you're in a place to where, and especially if you look up and you're next to refineries, and you're next to factories and stuff like that, like you live in a corrupt place, like they cornered you next to poison. And so, you gotta just understand where you're at and stuff like that, and just understand that where you can exist. I talk to people about this all the time, like especially in this weed market, it's all about like location and where you're at. Because like they're talking about like New York and it's about to be a good market, but right now, if you're a black person and you want to get high up in the weed market, even like not even own your own shit, if you really want to work in it and actually work on a corporate level in the weed market, you can only live in like 3 states. And that's not even exaggerating, like 3-4 states. Other than that, you will be boxed out. It's how that shit goes at this point. You know, we only allow like low level jobs in the weed market until everybody else gets theirs first. So just know where you're aiming at, you know what you want to do. And if you want to get in the weed space, if you want to get in the weed market, I would really, depending on what state you live in, I would suggest heavily not waiting until it comes to you in your state, because by that time it'll already be sold to everybody else. I'm getting a little bit of vapor out of here. That's kind of nice. I had to jack it up all the way to 421 degrees. I usually keep it around like 380, 390. I've been talking a lot, and I've had to get a couple hits in myself. I've been able to sit there and chill and smoke this whole time. I've been talking and communicating and shit. But I hope you guys have a great Friday. Looks like it's gonna be kind of overcast, a little bit gloomy here. I think I'm supposed to get some rain today, so I'll probably be inside, trying to be creative, trying to create, trying to make some videos. I posted on TikTok and Instagram this morning and shit, so constantly trying to create some new shit, create some new content, probably apply for some more jobs, see what's out there for a stoner college grad. Hopefully there's something. Never know. Yeah, Manuel, I feel you. 58 Eyes, another new name. Appreciate you tuning in to the live stream. Welcome. I'm gonna try to get some weed today, and if I do, I'll probably come back on to a live stream at some point this weekend. I might try to bring a guest. It's always fun to chill with guests and have some people pop in and out and shit like that. The 15 people who are tuning into the live stream right now, I thoroughly appreciate you. It's always good to smoke with some cool people in the morning. Get the Friday morning started the right way before I go eat and go do all the other shit we gotta go do today. Guys, it is always dope hanging out with you. It is always dope chopping it up with you. It is always dope getting to smoke with you guys. You guys have an amazing Friday. I will see you